Sky News Sunrise with Eamon Holmes.
Good morning, good to see you first this morning. New warnings that the economy is in a more fragile state than predicted. An independent body set up to advise the government.
Alistair Bunkle, Sky News.
OK, getting reaction to that story throughout the programme this morning, but right now a rundown of the other stories making the news on this Monday morning, starting the week. Here's Charlotte.
Thanks, Eamon. Good morning. Armed police in South Africa have fired tear gas and rubber bullets at a crowd of demonstrators in Durban. Hundreds of security stewards had gathered at the city's World Cup stadium to protest.
Sky News.
Thank you, Charlotte. Nothing to say?
No, well, I was just going to say, I expect people who've got quite a lot of health and safety laws they'd like to see scrapped, so maybe they'll let us know which ones in particular.
Yes. It's like how your top mixes in with the couch there.
Well, you think that's a health and safety problem?
I do, because I can only see your head floating.
Someone
you're
might
like
sit down on me by
you're
mistake
like a ghost
they think
there
I'm
this
part of the sofa.
Floating. Yeah, there'd be a complaint about that. Do you know there's football all over the front pages of the papers today? I mean, you know, get over that USA game. Before we get to that,
Alistair Bunkle, Sky News.
OK, more on the economy throughout the programme this morning. Sam Delaney bringing you the newspapers right after a rundown of what else is happening news-wise. We go to Charlotte for that.
Thanks, Eamon. Armed police in South Africa have fired tear gas and rubber bullets at a crowd of demonstrators in Durban. Hundreds of security stewards had gathered at the city's World Cup stadium to protest against low wages. Police set off 2 grenades.
Free for the cheese, Forest Go!
Police in Kenya are investigating the cause of 2 explosions which killed 5.
Nairobi.
It's time now to take a romp through the morning newspapers. Editor of Heat magazine, Mr. Sam Delaney, here this morning, and well, we can't get away from it because he's on the front of every newspaper. He's on the back of every newspaper. We're talking about Rob Green here.
Yeah, try as we might. What the papers have decided to do, having got us all very into a frenzied state of excitement over the past few weeks in the build-up to England's World Cup bid, what they've decided to do this morning, after the error by Robert Green and the 1-1 draw on Saturday, is totally get stuck into the culprit for that error. I suppose that might be helpful. I'm not sure. I'm rather confused by the policy of the newspapers this morning, but the Independent, I only chose the Independent because, you know, as a West Ham United fan, I'm one of the few people in the country who has just a tiny bit of sympathy for Rob Green.
Oh, you do? Oh, gosh, you could see his eyes, his wee eyes filled up after it. And
I thought he dealt with it very well.
Yeah.
He came
I was
out,
just pleased that I saw it because I was
media.
watching ITV HD, and I was just thankful that I saw
that they at least let you see one element of significance of the evening. That was good of them. Yeah, poor old Rob Green. Having said that, the outfit he's turned up in to play golf yesterday is not doing him any favours. He's already the subject of ridicule. Don't turn up, to play golf anyway, because that's just going to make people think that you're not really taking it seriously, and because really he should be locked weeping in a darkened room for the next couple of days.
But he did face the cameras, which I give him credit for.
He did face the cameras. The press are not letting up. It's a classic. In fact, so far, everything about England's World Cup campaign has conformed to stereotype. We've had a lacklustre initial performance, a terrible glaring error by one of our goalkeepers, and the press have immediately gone from one extreme to the other in their response to how the England team.
Would you play him in the next game?
No, I think it might be the young fella's turn now.
Joe
Hart.
But don't you think that he'll be thinking, he'll be so, you know, on the ball because of that mistake that he's not likely to make something like that again, is he?
That's rather a gamble to have that psychological analysis of it, that he's so bad that he can't get any worse, almost. I think Rob Green's a good keeper. I feel sympathy for him, but I think he just simply can't play him because it can just explode your confidence and you're taking a bit of a gamble. You know, but we credit Fabio Capello with a lot of expertise, but I'm not sure if he's a psychologist of that level.
Right. Next thing is, a lot of you watching in South Africa today, and you're a bit touchy. We love your country, we love your tournament, we love everything. Not so keen on your big horns, I have to say. It's like watching a match in a beehive, almost.
Hang on a minute, the Vuvuzelas. I'm here to defend the Vuvuzelas. Okay. I had a discussion with my brother yesterday and he convinced me round to them. First of all, this is what they're doing, right? This is part of their sport following culture, the Vuvuzela. Who are FIFA, who are now threatening or suggesting that they may ban the Vuvuzela, to waltz into South Africa, say, we're staging a football tournament here, and then after one weekend say, oh, we don't like the way your fans behave. Tell them to throw those trumpets away. Can you imagine the fuss that would be made if they did something similar here? I think it's an absolute outrage. If they want to blow their horns, let them do so. Plus, we shall always remember, it's what I call a nice piece of audio branding, because this World Cup, whenever we see footage of it in years to come, that sort of shrill sound of the buzzing bees will always remind us of this tournament. We will know which tournament we are watching.
The way
from the
ticket
clip.
tip reminds us of?
Argentina 1978.
It does indeed. 2 points.
Go.
Well done. Right, we move on to the Fox attacks and the family under police guard, because apparently, I mean, this is sick, really. There's a lot of these animal rights people or some animal lovers or whatever it is are now blaming this family on hyping this attack, or the little foxies will be put at danger because of this.
Well, you know, the animal rights protesters have looked at it this way. They've thought, you know, suddenly, after an isolated incident, foxes have become public enemy number one.
It is not that isolated.
Let me finish. This is the way they will see it. But what they don't understand is that the poor family who are the victims of this attack have not played a role in that, other than being unfortunate enough to have their child attacked by 2 foxes. So how they should become the target for these activists is rather confusing. If anyone should be, if they think that it's unfair on the foxes, they should be blaming the newspapers who hype up the anti-fox feeling.
Prince William, on the job. Tell us about that. This is in the Daily Mail.
Prince William was out on a SAS helicopter training exercise, which just surprised me. I wasn't quite sure what Prince William did. I think he's a lovely chap.
Yes.
He seems to be going around doing
President of the FA.
President of the FA, doing all sorts for our World Cup bid. He does lots of charity events. Sometimes I like it when he just pops up at an old person's home and visits them at random. Nice bloke. Apparently he's got a day job. It involves helicopters and the RAF and the SAS, which sounds extremely cool. A woman, Ruby Lawrence, broke her ankle whilst out walking in Mount Snowdon, and the helicopter that happened to be passing at the time had Prince William on it. So she was rescued literally by a charming prince. I think that's a fantastic story.
Amazing.
Someone came down. I mean, to be fair, the Mail have tricked us a bit here, because the drop-in picture they have of a man descending by zip wire from the helicopter to rescue the woman was, of course, not actually him. But, you know, he's still being trained. I would like to think that one day our future king will be leaping out of helicopters.
But she didn't know who it was, though.
She didn't know who it was because he had his pilot's helmet on. So she didn't realise she'd been rescued by a handsome prince until a day after the event. So, in a way, the whole thing was wasted on her. Nevertheless, it's a really good... It's like the milk tray man, isn't it?
It is indeed, all dressed in black. Now, never wasted on Charlotte is a glass of wine or 5. And in the Daily Mail here, we have a guy who qualified from Dragon's Den. Yeah. And what's he come up with?
He was rejected by Dragon's Den. You're going to love this invention of his, Charlotte. He came up with the idea of a plastic, disposable single glass of wine with a foil top that you tear off.
That's not very eco-friendly, is it?
It's not eco-friendly, but it is booze-hound friendly. OK. Because it's designed for the kind of person... I don't know if you're one of them, Charlotte. You think... I'm on the way home. Apparently, it's very popular amongst commuters. You're on the way home, you don't want to buy a bottle of wine, you may not have a corkscrew on you, or a glass. And you don't want to be sat on the train swigging from a bottle with the cork pushed down with your door key, which I'm sure you've been there, haven't you? Sometimes you just think, I'll just push it down with my door key and swig from the bottle. You don't have to do that anymore, Charlotte. You can sit on your train, peel off the foil lid, and sip all sophisticated, like, from a plastic cup. This idea was rejected by Dragon's Den, but the guy has been a success. He sold it into M&S, and they're struggling to keep up with it.
£2.25 a glass.
£2.25 a glass.
It's a great idea, as long as it's a nice glass of wine and also it's properly chilled.
Oh, what? This is red wine.
Oh, well, in that case, it doesn't matter.
This is red wine. I don't know, maybe he does it in both the flavours of wine, both red and white.
That would be nice. Or rosé as well.
What I like about it is that the etiquette that surrounds drinking in this country is that, like, you know, if you're sat on a train drinking wine from a bottle, you would be labelled a horrible drunk. Yes. If, however, you're drinking the same wine from a plastic cup,
civilised,
it's perfectly OK.
Of course.
It's perfectly OK. So whether or not you're judged a drunk or sophisticated entirely depends on the receptacle from which you drink. Interesting.
Very, very interesting. And Mr. Sam's back in an hour's time with more stories from the paper. See you then, Sam. Top stories at Sky News Sunrise. An independent body set up to advise the government.
Botswana.
Now, those beautiful pictures, particularly if you're watching in HD viewers.
Amazing pictures. The giraffes.
Well, you did that for your honeymoon, Charlotte.
Yeah, it's amazing as well, seeing them all that close up. Beautiful.
Yes, must be nice waking up in your balcony in a big trunk coming through the window.
Nothing like it.
A big lion's head.
Yes. Anyway, from 1 lion to 3 lions.
Yes, England waking up this morning not to a lion but to fears that defender Ledley...